Right, guys. Okay. So, yes, as I mentioned previously, that inertia you can keep in the brain in terms of like laziness. Okay, right. So, uh, the statement that you have to remember this is a very, very important statement you should keep in mind. Okay, so what is that? So, every object continues its state of rest. Every body, every object continues its state of rest or its state of motion until unless an external force is applied. This statement you should remember exactly because the statement is given by Newton. So we should not supposed to change it. You can tell that like physical consequence, but the statement should be you should write it same. So every object continues its state of rest or its state of motion until unless an external force is applied. Guys, did you remember? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So do not forget the statement of first law of Newton. It's a really wonderful law, and without Newton first law, we cannot talk about anything about like we cannot even enter into force. So when the body is at rest, when the bodies are uniform motion, so we always go for the laws Newton first law. But he also gave the explanation for the force, and he proposed that is a second law of motion. When you don't have the force, that's the first law. When you have the force, that's the second and third law. Okay. And here there is a question again. What is inertia? It is a property of body to oppose the change in its state of rest or motion, vice versa. So what does it change actually? The inertia basically it opposes the change in its state of rest. It could be motion or it could be rest. But this property, this physical quantity, this property of inertia, which always oppose the change in its state of rest or state of motion. Okay. So they gave different options. It is a property of body to change from rest. It is a property of body to change. So it's kind of like a more both. It's a property of body to oppose. It always oppose. Okay. So there is a one more question. You're thrown outwards when your car suddenly takes a turn. While which law of Newton is involved in this? Very simple, very easy question. But here I mock the answer. But you are thrown outward, like you can just thrown outward when your car suddenly takes a turn, like you're turning the car in a curvy path. Okay, so definitely what is going on here? Inertia, right? Not outside. I mean outward. I can say outward means like you're turning this side. You can imagine that your car is taking the turn, sudden turn. Up to that point, you are going in that direction. When you take the turn, let me draw here. So this is the path. Immediately curve is there. So car is going this direction. Okay. Let us say car is going this way. Suddenly he took a turn this side. So the people who are sitting in the car up to this point, their body motion is this direction. They are in the body always the motion in the straightward direction, this forward direction. When the car took a turn here, we don't know. Our body, they don't know that. Our body doesn't know that. The tires immediately change here. The car tires turn into other direction, but our body doesn't know. So we are in this direction. Suddenly what happened? The body should still follow this direction. So it took outward. We can say this is kind of outward, this is inward. So this is because of first law, inertia only. So which oppose the state of rest or state of motion. Because this is a completely change, right? Is it clear? Guys, any doubts? Please. No doubts? Are you guys are there or no sound, no response?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
You should respond, guys.
Okay,
Otherwise,
sir.
I'm teaching for the, I mean, whether I'm teaching for human beings or other people, I mean, you should, minimum response is required.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. The teaching should be involving both learner and, teacher and student. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So one way. Right. We already learned this, but yeah. Momentum. What is momentum? So momentum is related to the some one more law of motion, laws of motion, second law of motion, because rate of change of momentum, right? So first
Yes,
law
sir.
we completed, which is related to the inertia. Second law is completely force, which is related to momentum actually. So rate of change of moment, dp by dt, delta p by delta t. So you're changing, when you apply the force, what is going on? Your velocity changing. Your body momentum is changing. So that is, we are saying that. So first for that, we need to understand what is momentum. So momentum of a body, definitely it's a product of the mass and velocity.
Velocity.
It's a product of mass and velocity. So momentum, like I have a car here, I have a car, I have a lorry. So which one has a more momentum here? Suppose you have a velocity same for both of them. Which momentum is more?
Lorry.
Lorry. Why lorry get a more momentum? Because mass is high. When I say velocity same, both are moving with the same speed, which has more momentum? Lorry has a more momentum. But when I say which object move faster? Simply
Uh, car.
car, right? No, I did not. Now
Yes.
I'm saying that velocities are not equal. The masses are different. M1, small m and capital M. This is the heavy mass. The lorry mass is heavier than the car mass. So in that case, now I am saying that let us say momentum are same. Momentum is same. So which does car move faster and lorry move faster now?
Car will move fast.
Car move faster. Why? Mass is
Because
less.
velocity is more and mass is less.
So, but I have to provide this momentum is same. Otherwise, you can't tell that. You cannot tell car moves faster until and unless if I give the momentums are same. You should remember this IIT question. When momentums are same of the both lorry and car, so I'm fixing it one parameter. Now I have only M1 V1 is equal to M2 V2. In that case, if mass is more, to equate this conservation, if mass is more, velocity is less. If mass is high, If mass is more, velocity less. If mass is less, velocity is high. Inversely proportional, right? So mass and velocity is, what are the, how they related? If mass more, inversely proportional. Mass
Velocity.
more, velocity less. Velocity more, mass less. So in order to satisfy this condition, car moves faster than the lorry. So in general, if I ask which one moves faster, I cannot tell that. So you have to provide the momentums are same. Okay, that's good, clear, okay. So now we understand momentum is a product of mass and velocity. Here there is a, yeah, when two stones of different masses drop from the same height on a vehicle, which will cause greater damage? When two stones of different masses, you are dropping, you are sitting, you are standing on your building and dropping two objects. One stone is smaller one, the other stone is bigger one. On top of the
Yes,
vehicle,
sir.
which one damage more?
Bigger one, no, sir.
Yes, why?
Because force will be more, no, sir.
But
It will
here
be
I am
heavy, no,
giving
sir.
actually the velocity is same for both actually. Velocity, all freely falling bodies are the same. They reaches the ground same.
But the mass is different, no, sir.
So when you drop the two objects from certain height, we always ignore the air resistance. Air friction always zero, approximately very less, so we don't consider it. So when you drop two objects from certain height, they reaches the ground same time. But here heavier mass, if I say heavier mass and smaller mass also, they reaches same. Even if I drop a paper and stone also, they should reach same time, but they don't. Why? Air resistance is there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
If you take the vacuum where you don't have the air, if you drop the one paper and one stone from certain height, they reach same time ground. Remember that.
Yes.
So here, the stone of largest mass drop from greater height causes the greater damage since product of mass and velocity is larger. Why? Because mv
Sir,
is
I
greater,
have
momentum is greater here. Momentum is greater because the mass is greater, right? So if momentum is greater, more damage. Momentum is smaller, less damage. Okay? Is it clear?
I have a,
Yes, sir.
Any doubts?
yes, sir.
Tell me, please.
Sir, mass and velocity are inversely proportional, no, sir. So
Yes, yes,
when mass is higher, velocity should be less.
yes.
So in the case of stone, velocity should be constant, equal, no, sir. Then only the
Yeah, I'm
mass
saying
of
that velocities are equal here. In this case, velocities are equal.
yes.
Velocities are equal only. That is the reason, ideally, ideal case, we are assuming that air resistance is zero,
Like,
right? Even mostly very less, I would say. Even air is there, air resistance is very less. In that case, both velocities are same. But if I keep paper and stone, if you consider air, the paper doesn't even reach the ground, right?
yes.
So the stone can damage more. Still, higher mass can always the damage more, but condition usually we always take the velocity same. But suppose you have a
In
small stone and big stone in that case, so they reaches same time, velocity same. So heavier mass can damage them more. Yeah, but air resistance depends. We don't, it's not constant air, right? Air is always, we cannot tell that. That medium of air is always, we don't know whether it's high, small, one area is high, one area is small. That's, if you consider the air resistance, it's always can, like, you cannot do problems. Completely, we cannot consider it. Even if you consider it, these formulas, they don't apply anymore. Whatever formulas we are getting, they kept some constraints. Okay, air resistance is ignored in this case. If you consider air resistance, we cannot do all these formulas. We cannot get these equations completely. We should get some other equations because air play very important role. Okay.
Yes,
Any
sir.
doubts?
No doubt, sir.
So we already remember we already completed. Momentum is defined. It's a quantity of motion contained it. It's a product of mass and velocity. Units. You guys know that units, right? What are the units of momentum? Yes, kg meter per second.
Meter per
Seconds.
Kg meter per. What are the dimensional formula of momentum?
ml t inverse.
Yes, ml t minus 1. ml t minus m, mass is m, velocity is distance by time. So ml t minus 1. What is the time now? I have to. Okay, I'll try to finish this second law. So Newton's second law of motion, as I mentioned just now, according to first law of motion, we did not consider any external force, right? So if no external force on the body at rest or uniform motion. Okay, that is about when there is no force. What is constant? Tell me. Someone they'll ask this question also. If the external force equal to 0, what is the quantity constant? What is the physical quantity constant? That's very important.
Mass.
No. Now you to tell me. I gave the clue. When external force is 0, which is constant?
Rate of change of momentum.
Don't tell this there. This is when this is equal to 0, delta P equal to 0, right? So when delta P equal to 0, what is meaning of that? P is constant, right? Change in momentum is 0, which means what? The final momentum must be equal to initial momentum. So momentum is constant, right? Very important. When external force is 0, which physical quantity is constant? Momentum. When torque is 0, which physical quantity is constant? Very important. When torque equal to 0, which physical quantity? It's like a same force. Torque and force are this is the translatory motion, this is the rotatory motion. So here angular momentum, because you are rotating momentum, right? Angular momentum is constant. Here R cross F or dl by dt, we write it here. So torque is equal to dl by dt. Here force is equal to dp by dt. So if force is 0 means dp constant, p constant, dp equal to 0. Here also torque 0 means dl equal to 0, L is constant. So remember guys, in case of translatory motion, if external force is 0, momentum is constant. In case of rotatory motion, if torque is 0, in that case, angular momentum is constant. Remember that. So no external force act on the body. Its momentum is equal to constant. No external force act on the body means its momentum equal to constant. Hence, momentum of body changes. The body must be under the action of net external force. When momentum changes, what happens? When momentum constant, the body should not get any motion. But when momentum changes, which means delta P by delta T, when it changes, the body gets force, right? It's kind of force. Without
Yes, sir.
When momentum changes, you have the force, right? The body must under the external force. Without external force, the body should not get momentum, change in momentum. The body should get change in momentum only when you apply the external force. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So Newton's second law should remember till you life ends. That's important too. All laws. What is the statement of second law? The rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the net external force acting on the body and takes place in the direction in which the force acts. What is the meaning of that? F is equal to
Um,
F is equal, don't remember that formula, statement that does not. So
rate of change of
F is equal to delta P by delta T or dP by dt. This is a statement. Okay. The rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum of body is directly proportional to the net external force, which means F is directly proportional to the dP by dt, right? And takes
Yes, sir.
place in the direction in which the force acts. Force, suppose if force act in this direction, body also moves in this direction. So the rate of change of momentum of body is directly proportional to the net external force of the body and takes place in the direction in which the force act. So whichever direction the force act, the body moves same direction, right? There's nothing like,
Yes,
scientific.
sir.
It's very easy. The statement of second law of motion, Newton's second law of motion, should remember that it's very easy. Momentum is directly proportional to net external force, and direction should be whichever direction the force applies. That's it. Okay. So first one, I guess by the end of the class, you should remember. You should tell that statements. So there is activities here, fun activities there. The rate of change of momentum of body is directly proportional to applied force and takes place in the direction of, that's a statement. The second law of motion tell us that there is a net external force acting on a body. It's related to, I think you can just, basically here you are talking about acceleration also. When there is a force, there is a momentum change. When there is a momentum change, there is a change in velocity. When there is a change in velocity, there is a acceleration.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here there is some activities you can think about it. Catching the ball, pushing the ball, okay, releasing the ball. So some activities are there, but this is the same. This is the equation also related to the second law of motion. So mathematically, if someone asks you mathematically, you should tell this equation. Definition, change in momentum. But mathematically, force equal to ma. Newton's second law equation is F equal to ma. How we got this equation? From the definition delta P by delta T, change in momentum m into V minus U by T. V minus U by T is the acceleration. This is also very important. If a ball of mass m strike a rigid floor normally, rebounds with the same speed back. So what happened? Tell me here. So here, the question is here, the ball actually hit the surface, this rigid floor, and rebounds back. Okay. So initially MU, let's say MV final. Okay. If I give initial velocity, let's say MV only, the velocity is same. It's not changing. Say it's a velocity same. Okay, before and after interaction of this with the surface. Initial velocity U, V, mass M same. So when the ball hit the surface, if I take this direction plus MV, and this should be the minus mv. But if I consider this is my positive axis, upward always we take the positive, downward always negative. In general axis, if I talk about xy axis, okay. So what is my change in momentum? What is my change in momentum? Suppose y axis is there, upward is y. Let's say this is minus y. So if I consider this is my positive axis, okay, mv, downward axis is minus mv. Okay, this is my final momentum, this is my initial momentum. Okay, so what is the change in momentum now? Change in momentum is this minus this, mv minus of minus mv. Total is minus of minus plus 2mv. Okay, the change in linear momentum of a particle is equal to mv minus of minus mv 2mv along the normal away from the 4. Okay, is it clear? Any doubt?
Clear, sir.
So here also we can write it like, you know the definition, change in momentum by change in
Yes, sir.
time. Oh, sorry, change in momentum by change in time. We got change in
Yes,
momentum.
sir.
How much we got it? 2 mv by t, right?
Yes,
So these kind of questions also appear in the competitive exams. So they make you confused. You have to be careful. Don't do anything here. Simply multiply with 2. Don't do any calculations. Whatever they give mass and velocity, you just apply, multiply and multiply by 2. Just make the product of mass and velocity, because it's definitely, it comes opposite direction, rebounds back, minus into minus plus. So 2mv by t. That's it. Okay. I think I'm going to stop now. Yeah, derivation, I think everybody knows, right? I don't need to explain this, right? You guys know, right? Derivation, I don't need to explain. This is a definition. Force is directly proportional to change the rate of change of momentum. We know that momentum is rate of change of velocity, right? Momentum can be written as a mass into, momentum can be written as mass into velocity. So here P is basically m into V. So m is constant, it doesn't change with respect to time. So it came out. So dV by dt also, well, acceleration. This is the one way of doing. The other way also I mentioned, right? So dP by delta P by delta T. And delta P change in momentum, V minus final velocity minus U initial velocity by T. And this is actually A. According to the equation of motion, V minus U by T is A. That's it. There are many methods. Here constant you take actually one, proportional constant. So I think I am done. I think we're going to do tomorrow actually. Impulse is a very good topic to discuss, but we'll do tomorrow, next class. Not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay? Any doubts for today class?
No, sure.
No? I would definitely, I need more questions from you guys. You should ask. If you don't have a question, means you are just passive learner. Should be active learner. Teaching should be active. Spurti? No doubts?
Sure.
So you always come up with questions every day.
I have one.
Yeah, you have one. Tell me.
Why we are not able to apply force against gravity?
Why we are not able to apply the force against? So gravity is always pulling. You mean you want to oppose the?
Yes, if we oppose the gravity, we can fly, right?
Yeah, we can fly, right?
But
We can
why are
definitely.
we are unable? Why we are unable to? Apply
No.
the force.
We have to apply the force, we have to apply more force in order to go upward direction. That's it, right?
But
So
normal
gravitational
body
force,
can't.
here gravitational force is more. You're not applying your force. I mean, the force, in order to go upward, you need to have certain more force than gravitational force, right?
So we use
What Newton was telling actually? What Newton was telling? Newton was telling, what happened? Wait, guys. What Newton was telling? So Newton was actually, when he was sitting under the apple tree, so the apple fell down and the something attracted towards the gravity. He doesn't know why, right? So he was,
yes.
he proposed the statement, something, there is some amount of force which is there in the, which is there to in the, like, earth, gravity. So where this force is coming? It's coming from the center of the earth. It's not on the ground. Actually, the force acting from the center of the earth. There is some force is acting towards the earth, so which is pulling down. So why can't it's going up? Suppose when you go to the moon, when you go to the moon, what is going on there? The gravity is very less.
Of moon is less.
It compared to earth, 6 times less. Suppose I am here 60 kgs. Here I am 60 kgs. When I go there, my weight becomes what? 10 kgs.
10 kgs.
So I can fly there, right?
Yes.
So if my weight is here 10 kgs, there it should be like a 10 by 6, not 1 point something, right? So when gravity is less, you fly. Here the gravity is more than the upward force is less than the gravitational force. Whatever force acting upward, that is lesser than the gravitational force. That is the reason we're all, when you go up, when you jump from the building, we're not going upward, we're going downwards.
Yes.
Okay, good. I mean, you have to think every question may not be great question, but everything, it may be, it's good sign to ask questions. Sometimes, the question would be more effective, more, very tough. But if you ask me only, I can think. If you don't ask me, I don't think I mean, that should be, it should be interactive way. Okay. You always come with questions every day, read more and come up with question, guys. That would be great. Okay. Okay. Good night. It's 10:30. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.